Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nivrita Guna Vrittaye Atma Ramaya Santaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nivrita Guna Vrittaye Atma Ramaya Santaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nirvita Guna Vrittaye Atma Ramaya Santaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Guna Vrittaye Atma Ramaya Santaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Namo Kinchana Vittaya Nrivrita Guna Vrittaye Atma Ramaya Santaya Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Okay. So, if we can repeat, Namaha, all obeisances unto you. Akinchana Vittaya, unto the property of the materially improvised. Nivrita, completely transcendental to the actions of the material modes. Guna, material modes. Vrittaye, affection. Atma Aramaya, one who is self-satisfied. Shantaya, the most gentle. Kaivalya Pataye, unto the master of the monists. Namaha, bowing down. So we've got the translation here. My obeisances are unto you who are the property of the materially improvised. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are master of the monists. So we can repeat. My obeisances are unto you who are the property of the materially improvised. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self-satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and are the master of the monists. So we've got the purport here. It's a rather long purport. By His Divine Grace, I see Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Sri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So Prabhupada says, a living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be, in the real sense of the term, a renouncer. So we have problems actually giving up all our riches. So none of the living entities really are qualified to renounce, because we always need something. We need something to go on. So a living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. That is the rule of displacement. Like in order to gain something, we have to give something up. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So this is the state of the living beings. Being renounced, something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his childish productivities to gain a better education. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world, not for nothing, but for something tangible in spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. In this regard, so did a lot of our acharyas, Srila Prabhupada also. Even my own spiritual master, he was born in a multi-millionaire family. They had like several jet planes, not even one. And they renounced in order to gain the spiritual life. So we do have to lose something to gain something, all the living entities. These Goswamis of Vrindavan, they were big men in their worldly sense. The Goswamis were ministers of the government service in Bengal, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of a big zamindar of his time. Zamindar means, for those who are Indians, we know that they have big land. So he's a landowner and in India, so that he was very rich, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. And that superiority, the superior object is what we all want, is we want a spiritual life, we want Krishna. And he is the most valuable, most richest wealth we can ever possess. So the devotees are generally without material prosperity, and they are without material prosperity willingly, actually. But they have a very secret treasure house. So all devotees, they have a secret treasure house. We do have something there that is very valuable. And it's in the lotus feet of the Lord. There's a nice story about Srila Sanatan Goswami. He had a touchstone with him, and this stone was left in a pile of refuse. So Srila Sanatan Goswami had this touchstone. The touchstone actually turns everything to gold or riches or wealth. So it basically is your key to wealth and prosperity. But he used to keep it in the rubbish bin, the refuse. Why he did it? Because he did not consider that to be true wealth. The true wealth really was the holy names of the Lord and bhakti and spiritual life. For him, Krishna was wealth. So he really didn't need it. He was very renounced. And a true mark of a devotee is one who doesn't place any importance in the material wealth they have or any kind of material opulence they have. They don't. Just the other day, someone was asking me, give me, how do I get blessings from you? And I said, I have blessings. I don't really have blessings, but as a devotee, I can ask you to chant Hare Krishna. I can give you Lord Krishna's names. I can introduce you to Lord Krishna's pastimes, but I can't tell you how to get rich. I cannot tell you how to get rich. Devotees don't know that because we are not attached to the material things, material opulences. And generally, we don't really want it, because for us, Krishna is more important. That is the mark of a true devotee, not the artificial devotees. Some of them, like in my previous class, we did discuss a little bit. They are devotees who are slightly artificial, and they are there for show. And they just want to bother Krishna. They're there to bother Krishna for things. So there are two types of devotees. So a true devotee, they won't really give material benefits and blessings also. They will say, be a devotee, be a good devotee, advance in spiritual life, may you do more service, may you have a Krishna conscious life. Even in birthday we say, may you have a Krishna conscious birthday. Don't get born again. So we devotees, we have that kind of bhava, that kind of feeling, that kind of blessing we can give. Because we know really, what does material life do to us? It actually gets us more and more involved in material life, and it is an obstacle to our spiritual advancement. It is an obstacle to get closer to Krishna. And Krishna wants you to come closer to him, so he'll remove all the obstacles from the path. Have you ever seen a person who is in sugarcane plantation? I come from Fiji. My mother comes from the farm area, and they had these sugarcane fields, quite a large land. And what do they do in order to get into the farm and make a path? They take a machete knife and they chop chop, 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 and they make a pathway. And that's what Krishna does. He chops off all the obstacles on your path. And these are things that you actually love. In this regard, you love those things. You don't want to give up your bank account. You don't want to give up your beautiful wife or children or your beautiful car, even your computer. My personal experience, I had so many cars in my life, and Krishna managed to take away all of them, one by one by one by one. And that was the saddest part in my life, was I lost my car. But there's a path. And I'm meant to be here today. That's why I'm not in New Zealand, because I was in New Zealand and I had the best car that I could get at that time, straight from the firm. But no, there has to be, it's all Krishna's plans. And he prepares you for it. And you have to cry along the way. It's not nice. Actually, in order to give up your material gains, Prabhupada was saying in his class, he gave a class in in Los Angeles in 1973, in April sometime. I was listening to that class. And in that class he said, when Krishna takes away your things, you become morose. You really do become very depressed. And it's meant to be like that. So if you are depressed and you don't have any money, you know that Krishna, and you're a devotee, then no, Krishna is behind it. And you are meant to get morose. And why? And after that you get morose and depressed, then you go to Krishna, please save me. And that's when he calls you. So that's the Krishna's strategy, you might say. And you lose. Even my own spiritual master, he had so many riches, and he tells his story all the time. It's very interesting. He had a really nice sports car, very, very expensive one. And as soon as he got it, Krishna made arrangements to smash it. So his sports car was totally and truly smashed. Can't get attached to this. Even the greatest of devotees. We don't want to tell devotees this when we try to preach to them. So you come to Hare Krishna movement, you're going to lose all your money and you're going to lose everything. Please join us. It's really nice. So we can't really tell them that. But we do tell them that Krishna will make way for you to get closer to us. And Krishna will provide you with everything you need to come to bhakti, come to Krishna consciousness. So here we have Sanatana Goswami, and he had a touchstone. And he used to keep it in the rubbish bin. He did not value it. So reading on, a needy man took it, but later on he wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. So he actually did give it to somebody. Somebody was needing it. He said, yeah, you take it. So you keep it. And then he went and he thought, if it was so valuable, why did he give it to me? Why did he keep it in a rubbish bin? So he came and, asked Sanatana Goswami. And then Sanatana Goswami revealed the true nature of this is that the most valuable wealth we can have is actually Krishna. It is a fact. For those devotees who are realized, they know that. Dhruva Maharaj, what did Dhruva Maharaj say when he was looking for Lord Krishna? He said, I was looking for pieces of broken glass. But now that I've seen you, I found the true gem, true jewel. For those of you who are fortunate to see Krishna, and many devotees have seen Krishna, maybe in their dreams. I have gone as far as a dream. And even in that 1 second of seeing Krishna, you don't really feel like anything else is valuable. Nothing. Nothing is valuable as Krishna. He is the most beautiful face. He has the most beautiful eyes. Every expression in Krishna speaks volumes. Even his eyebrows, even the manner of how he lowers his eyes, even his little smile, everything about Krishna is so attractive. You will never ever turn around and look at something that you'll think is more valuable. And he gave me darshan in just a second, in a microsecond, not even a long time. And in that microsecond, he took me for eternity. That was the effect. I wasn't a devotee. I wasn't much of a devotee at that time, but I just saw baby Krishna, Makanchor. Makanchor was just sitting there I was on my way to Fiji, and I had bought this huge bag full of presents for everybody, because you know when you go home, if you're not in your country right now, you know you go home, you take things for everybody. So I took it for everybody. I didn't take it for Krishna Kaliya, where I come from. I come from a very special dham. This is Lord Krishna Kaliya dham. Just 5 minutes from there. Actually, that place already has Kaliya Nag is still residing there. So the last remnant of Lord Krishna's pastimes, living and breathing, happens to be there. And Kaliya Nag actually is known to visit Krishna Kaliya temple in Fiji. And that temple was built by Srila Prabhupada's blessings and wish. When he first came to Fiji, he said, so there must be snakes around. And they said, no, Prabhupada, there are no snakes here in Fiji. Actually, there are no snakes there. And then Prabhupada said, then Kaliya Nag must be here, because he eats the little snakes. So then he said, you must build, this is the first visit of Srila Prabhupada in the 1970s, you must build a Krishna Kaliya temple. So that's when Krishna Kaliya temple manifested in Fiji. That was it's a very special temple. Anyone who goes there, they can actually feel, tangibly feel the presence of Kaliya Nag. They can tangibly feel Krishna present there. So where was I? Kind of lost track of what I was saying. Anyway, I come from there. Kaliya Nag, yes. When we think about him, I forget everything else. But yeah, I was on my way to Fiji, and I didn't take anything for Kaliya Nag. And that night, I actually had a very interesting dream. I had just given up meat eating. So this is a very early stage of my bhakti. I just turned vegetarian, and I wasn't really chanting Hare Krishna. And I was taking these gifts, they were all material things for everybody else, and I didn't take anything for Krishna Kaliya. Although I wanted to go and visit him just as a darshan. So he decided himself, took it upon himself to come into my dream. And he sat there with a very, very unhappy face, like this, and big eyes. His eyes are most beautiful. Lord Krishna's eyes, lotus eyes. They're very, very big, and lots of long lashes. He's such a cute face, I can't even describe. And I just had a microseconds darshan. And he was pouting, actually. You didn't get me. He didn't say anything, but he was very unhappy, like, you didn't get anything for me. And then his eyes were all green. With green eyes, what do they signify? Jealousy. Krishna can get jealous. If devotees are not paying attention to him, Krishna can get jealous. So he was showing me his green eyes. And that you are not giving me enough attention, you're not bringing me anything. And then he slowly lowered his eyes. And that's when I knew that every action of Krishna just speaks drama, volume. Even the simple act of lowering his eyes and hiding his green eyes with his long lashes. Wow. It's just a sight to see. It's nothing like nothing you've seen. Anyway, then I woke up and I saw that Lord Krishna is wealth personified. He's got millions and millions of Lakshmi Devi serving him. He's got wealth, so much wealth. He's the richest. He's so stingy with his devotees, he doesn't give them a thing. Anyway, he was sitting there with a very, very naughty, swollen face, and like he had nothing in the world and nobody gave him anything. He had no jewelry, was no clothes, because it's baby Krishna. He was just sitting there. I could see him from here, up there. It was like, there is no opulence there. I have nothing, you didn't bring anything for me. So that's when my dream ended. Then I woke up and I thought, he's not smiling. He was pouting. He had no clothes. He had no jewelry. And he had green eyes, and he wants attention, and he's jealous. I better go and get something for him. But I wasn't a devotee, so I didn't really know what to get for him. But I thought, well, he's got beautiful jewelry. As you can see, he's so very nicely dressed. I thought, let me get him some jewelry, and let him get him some clothes, because he wasn't wearing any shirt. So I went to the Indian shop, and I said, can you please give me some clothes for babies? And she said, how old is your baby? And I thought, maybe he's crawling. I don't know. But she didn't know I was getting it for Krishna. So I got this little baby's clothes. And then I went to the gold section, the actual pure gold, 22 karat gold. I got him a chain. That was my first gift to Lord Krishna, was a gold chain. And I brought it to Krishna Kaliya temple. And I said, look, I brought these things for him because he gave me this darshan. And he was feeling very neglected and jealous. So please offer this to him. And the pujari there, the brahmachari, he was a brahmachari at the time. He's now married. But he was a temple president also. So he was a temple president who was a brahmachari. And he looked at this little baby clothes and he said, this is not how you give Krishna clothes. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't know. He said, look at the altar and look at the deities, what are they wearing? So I said, oh, they're wearing this and that. He said, yeah, get that. That's what he wears. So then I went to the shop and I bought meters. I think I bought 22 or 24 meters of these clothes. Which was stitched later on. And Krishna Kaliya gave me a darshan of this while I was in New Zealand, but that's another story. I went and gave him, they went and put the gold chain. So then I thought gold is what Krishna is wearing because I didn't know that it's not real gold that the deities are wearing. I thought it was real gold at that time. So I bought him real gold. And then I bought, I went back to New Zealand. Months later, I was in my kitchen cooking something. And suddenly, the kitchen disappeared. And I thought, oh, where's everything? And then I saw one nice little person wearing red and wearing the gold chain and doing like a little circle. You know, when you wear something, you turn around and show. This is what I'm wearing. And instead of my pots and my kitchen and my stove, I was just seeing somebody wearing red and wearing jewelry and turning around and showing, here, I worn it. And I was like, whoa, who wears these bright clothes in this day and age? Who's that? I'd forgotten because it was a few months since the material was stitched. Then I opened my email and there it was. They had taken a photo from the temple and presented it to me. Here we've made the clothes for Krishna and this is what it looks like. And I thought, oh, that's what it is. But I'd already seen it in the vision because Krishna came and showed me. So what was really happening there is Krishna is pulling you to him. After that, I didn't get those kind of visions. So Krishna is very smart and very cheeky. He will pull you in, just like he pulled, Narad Muni gave a darshan. Actually, I'm not on that level, but he does that to devotees. He will just show you a little bit and then he'll leave you hankering for more. So he hasn't done that in a while, and he should be doing that soon, because devotees need that kind of thing. Anyway, that was Krishna Kaliya. He does all these dramas, and it's very interesting, and I very miss him very much. But that's what he does in just a second. And that's the true gem, that's the true jewel. That's the point that I was trying to make, that you only see Krishna for just a second, and he steals you for eternity. Steals your heart for eternity. And the point here is, why do we want to give up our riches? We want to give up our riches because we have given our heart to him. That's the main point here. We give our heart to him. So my heart is lying down there somewhere at Krishna Kaliya's lotus feet, somewhere there, because that's where the first darshan he gave me. So without going on and on, I haven't finished the purport. This purport is very long and started talking. Sorry about that. Anyway, this needy man, he later wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked him for the most valuable thing that he was given, and the holy name of the Lord. That was the most valuable thing. Akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. That's what akinchana means. Means one who has nothing to give materially, and that's what devotees are. We don't have any material things to give. We have spiritual things to give. We have holy names to give. We have love of Krishna to give. A factual devotee or a Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only property of a factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise, it would have been kept in such a nice place. Where do we keep Krishna? In the most perfect place we can find, the best spot in the house, the altar. That's where we keep our wealth. So our wealth is, where do we keep our gold and jewelry? We hide it in somewhere. We keep it. We don't really show it to anybody. It's yeah. So that's the difference. This specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. In fact, Srila Prabhupada did explain in his class. He said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said, and so has Lord Krishna, he said, that anybody who is hankering for material opulence and also wants me at the same time is most foolish. Is actually most foolish. That person will not be successful. Krishna is a little bit, just like I said, he's a little bit jealous too. He wants full, total, 100% commitment. In this day and age, nobody wants to commit to anything or anyone, not even their wives or husbands. But Krishna is not like that. He wants 100% commitment. And so material and spiritual, they don't go together. That's why devotees, they actually leave spiritual life. Because they love Krishna more. They want Krishna more. So they get into spiritual life. And everything is renounced. Material life is renounced. Of course, that doesn't mean that you stop paying your rent. You still have bills to pay. So you still go to work. But you are not attached to it. That's the point. You're not attached to it. You just use your material gains to help you in your Krishna conscious, help you pay the rent, help you live. And you continue a spiritual life. But you're not attached. So unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, sets this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. So we actually have to learn from our acharyas and follow in their footsteps. And Srila Prabhupada in this regard in his class also said, he said when he was explaining that we get morose, we get really depressed when Krishna takes away our riches. He said, excuse me, he said, in this regard, in this connection, he had his own experience. Srila Prabhupada also. And he laughed about it. He said that with a very nice smile. You could actually hear the smile in his voice in his class. He said, Krishna actually put me through all these things also. He took away his material opulences. How he did it? He said when he was 25 years old, Srila Prabhupada, he went to his own spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And he was instructed by his spiritual master at the age of 25 years old, when he was 25, go and preach to the Western world at that time. And Prabhupada didn't listen to him. Because Prabhupada, he said it himself in this class. He said, I wanted to become a rich man first. So he didn't immediately listen to his spiritual master. He had his own idea that he'll become rich first. So he had the opportunity of becoming rich. He had a business, Srila Prabhupada, a chemical factory. And it was doing very well. And then all of a sudden, Krishna made the arrangements, and his entire factory and his business, it was all dismantled. And he lost everything, Srila Prabhupada. This is our Acharya we're talking about, and we follow in his footsteps. So if you have lost your money, or if you have lost any of your riches, think back and say, Prabhupada also went through this. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Raghunath, everybody, they went through this. They all went through it. And so Srila Prabhupada continues after that. He says, I had no choice. I had no choice but to, I was forced, he said. I was forced to take up the mission of my spiritual master. After he lost his riches, he was forced to then start preaching. So Prabhupada actually did say after that, that you lose all your material wealth, but you gain something else. And the gain is far more multiplied. Like, look at this ISKCON we have, it's worldwide. Temples around the world. We are sitting here, devotees. All we had received, we are all beneficiaries of Prabhupada's loss, that particular loss, but the gains multiplied. So I lost my car, so many cars. I guess I got a little bit of darshan of Lord Krishna. And that darshan is worth it. And the fact that he comes and he dances around in the clothes that you gave him to show you is priceless. It's wealth. And he showed it to me before anybody else showed it to me. He knows how to get there. So actually distance, time, space is nothing to Krishna. That's another point. Where did my kitchen go? I was standing in the kitchen. It all disappeared. It was just him standing there. There's no concept of time, distance, place, nothing. He's just there. Where did the kitchen go? I don't know. My pots and pans all disappeared and there was Krishna there. So, you gain something. You lose something, but whatever it is that you gain, it's multiplied over. So don't be scared to lose your material wealth if you're a devotee of Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna comes there himself. So continuing on, unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. Advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living being in the bondage of a material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha, or things not wanted. Anartha is things not wanted. Actually, this is so. In the present context of material advancement, one uses lipstick at a cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of the material conception of life. By diverting attention, so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. This is like it is a very obvious point. This entire world is busy making money, spiritual, progress, and there is no spiritual progress. There's technology, there's more money and money and money and more money, but there's no spirituality. Nobody is obviously and going out there to advance spiritually unless they are small devotees. The minority, the spiritual devotees are a minority compared to the rest of the world. The rest of the world is busy making money. And if they're making money, they're not going to be wanting Krishna. They're not going to be wanting Krishna. And that material is an obstacle. Material opulence is an obstacle. That's what it's saying. So it's kind of obvious that if you are making money, then you don't have time for Krishna. That's what the whole world is doing. So the attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy. Because even if the moon is reached, the problem of life will not be solved. Actually, that is correct. So you are having health problems and you want to reach the moon and you reach the moon, but does that solve your health problem? No. Yeah, it doesn't. Somebody's passed away, a beloved one, and you are gaining money. Your money, none of that money is going to bring that beloved one back. And not enough money in the world is going to buy you love. That's another thing. The material is not going to solve your problems. You might have a lot of problems, but money doesn't solve everything, doesn't solve the problems. So who solves the problems then? Krishna. And who can reunite you with your beloved ones, the ones who have passed away? Krishna, because we are the soul. And when we migrate out of this body, then we can see our beloved ones in their spiritual bodies too, because you have the power to deliver your loved ones too. One person becomes a devotee, 21 generations goes back to Godhead. So I may have lost my mom, or you may have lost someone, but it's not like that you'll never see them again. I'll see them again. Definitely see them again. So who solved this problem? Krishna did. Krishna did. So you have to invest in the right person. Krishna. Krishna has unlimited wealth and unlimited opulence. So if he's taken away something, when you actually see him, he's going to give everything back to you. I mean, Dhruv Maharaj, he gave him entire planet that is never destroyed. He's a king and he never dies. Unlimited opulence. So Krishna can give you so much. This is the thing that we don't realize, we don't understand. We chase after little pieces of glass. There's Lord Krishna there. But darshan of Krishna is enough. That is my experience. One small darshan of Krishna is. And you become his forever and ever and ever. And it really hurts when he separates himself from you. Really hurts. And then that's when your love for Krishna magnifies. So every devotee goes through this in small quantities. So we are not great acharyas or anything like that, but you get what you can handle. So the separation from God will be there at some stage of your life. You will separate, and then you will feel the separation. You love him more and more. It hurts. But at the same time, it's also nice. The gopis will tell you that, not at that stage. So you read the gopi, about the gopis. And for them, pain and separation and happiness, it's all the same. They all consist of Krishna. They can't tell the difference. When Gopagopal, he went to, finally made it to the spiritual kingdom of Lord Krishna. When he went to Goloka Vrindavan, the gopis, he was asking, have you seen my Gopal? He was asking all these Vrajvasis. And to them, they looked like they were not really there. They have lost something really precious. Because they were in separation. Even while they were there with Krishna in that same place, Krishna might have gone to herd the cows or something. But while he was not there in front of their eyes, they looked like they had lost something. So they were a little disturbed. When Gopakumar went to ask them, have you seen Krishna? They were looking a little disturbed. That's how you feel with Krishna. So the whole point is that you give your heart to Krishna, you love him so much that you get to that platform. And that's what we really need to aspire to. Don't worry about losing the money. Don't worry about losing your loved ones. Don't worry about the problems of the world. If you really want Krishna, you only focus on Krishna. And Krishna will separate himself from you. That is a fact. Just to increase that bhava. So, the devotees of the Lord are called akinchanas because they have practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of the three material modes of nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance of spiritual progress. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with material activities. All his acts and deeds, which are exhibited even in his material world, are spiritual and unaffected by the modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental. And one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to Godhead. That's the whole point. We don't want to get born again. We don't want to take birth again. That's why we want Krishna. We are actually not happy. None of us. None of us is happy. Because anyone here in this room can say that they're truly happy. That they don't have a problem. You might have finance problems. You might have separation from your family members problems. You might have health problems. You might have just daily problems, frustration, can't complete your work. You might have problems that you are aging. Everybody has got a problem. Everybody. Nobody is really happy. And the reason for that is we are actually part and parcel of Krishna. In other words, the soul is just like Krishna. We have every quality that we have got. It is present in Krishna full 100%. We have just got a minute quantity of that. But we still have the same quality of potency, wanting to enjoy, wanting to have eternal life, wanting to be the boss. We all have it in minute qualities. And that's why we are not happy. We are not in our real home. We are all having problems. Anyway, in Kali Yuga, it said that everybody in Kali Yuga in this day and age, everybody will be in anxiety. Everyone. To put food on the table, to get a good job, to get a good education, to solve the problems. The country is going haywire. Our leaders are not good in the country. We are being attacked by people from other countries who want to impose their religion on you. And the problem goes on and on and on. So, what do we do? We really want to get out of here. And the way to get out of here is not to accumulate wealth, material wealth. The way to get out of here is accumulate spiritual wealth. That will give you the passport to spiritual kingdom. So that's what the Hare Krishnas are doing. They are telling you to chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. That's what it is. We are trying to get you out of your miseries. That's really what we are doing. We are not saying we'll give you money, we'll give you blessings so that you can have more obstacles to stay here. We will never do that. So I can't say to anyone, I've got a secret or how you can get rich. I'll tell you. I actually don't know how to get rich, to be honest. I would not know. Krishna never told me. If he had told me, then I would be a billionaire today. A millionaire. But he never told me, and he never wants me to be rich, because these are obstacles. And he really wants to reveal himself to me. That's why he did it to me. He wanted Prabhupada to fulfill his mission, and that's why he dismantled his chemical factory. All these things. He did this to all these devotees because he's calling you. It doesn't mean that you have to be a great devotee. It just means Krishna is calling you back. He loves you. That's why he's calling you. That's why you're sitting here. You love him too. You want to be with him too. So then you have to give up. You know, there was this story about the monkey who put his hand in the vessel with a narrow opening, because at the bottom of the vessel there was some food that he wanted. So the monkey put his hand inside. And when he put his hand inside, he could grab the food, but when he has to come out of the vessel, he has to leave the food, because the food is not going to come out of the vessel. We are just like the monkeys. We grab hold of the material things, opulence. We don't want to give it up. We want to get attached to it. We've got to let go. Then our hand removes from the vessel. Then we get Krishna. So the material and spiritual, they are two opposing things. We can't have both. Unless the material is used for Krishna's service, that's something different. Like we've got the Ford family who owns the cars, and he's building this humongous temple in Mayapur. That's opulence that he's using for Krishna, but it's for service. That's something completely different. But if you accumulate the material for yourself, you'll be just like the monkey. In the vessel, you've got your hand, you don't want to let go. You have to let go. So that's, Krishna is teaching us that. It's a very tough lesson. Oh dear, we're nearing to our time. Okay, so continuing from there. Such material assets are all products of the three modes of material nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus, the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with the material activities. Oh, we read all that, right? In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental, and one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to Godhead. So that's where we were. The material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to an interaction of the three material modes of nature, and neither the Lord nor the devotees have an attachment for false enjoyment. Therefore, the Lord and the devotees are called Nivritta Guna Vritti. The perfect Nivritta Guna Vritti is the Supreme Lord, because he never becomes attracted by the modes of material nature, whereas the living beings have such a tendency. Some of them are entrapped by illusory attraction of the material nature. Because the Lord is the property of devotees. This is a very interesting sentence. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees. It's written right here by Srila Prabhupada in his purport. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees, and the devotees are the property of the Lord reciprocally. The devotees are certainly transcendental to the material modes of nature. So who does Krishna belong to? Whose property is he? He's the devotee's property. But pure devotees, of course. Pure devotees. And the devotees are his property. That is a natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees, so not to be confused with the mixed devotees, who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries and poverty, or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. So the mixed devotees, they don't own Krishna. The demigods in the heavens, they are not pure devotees, actually. They are mixed. They are mixed because they are attached to their material opulences in the heaven. That's Indra. He actually had a fight with Krishna. First, Lord Krishna went to return his mother's earrings because the demon Bhaumasur had stolen Lord Indra's mother's earrings and some other things, umbrella, think it was the Lord Indra's umbrella. And so Lord Krishna went with Satyabhama, his wife, from Dwarka, and went and fought Bhaumasur. Bhaumasur actually was Lord Krishna's son, who turned into a demon. So even God is not spared. We think that our children will be perfect devotees. No. Lord Krishna's son also was a devotee, a demon, due to bad association. Due to bad association. So he had some very bad friends, and he turned into a demon. And he stole lots of things, and he kidnapped all these princesses and were keeping them there. Lord Krishna went with Satyabhama, and he married those princesses, actually, 16,100. Because the princesses said, who's going to marry us? So anyway, he managed to do that. At the same time, return Lord Indra's mother's earrings, and Aditi's earrings, and the umbrella and all these things. And what did Indra do? You can't take the parijat flower from the heavens, because Lord Krishna wanted to take the parijat flower and give it to Satyabhama. Because you know how women are, even all the way up to spiritual world, women are very competitive and they're jealous. So that's the lesson there for all of us. If the ladies in the temple are jealous and fighting with each other, take it as their nature. That's what they are. It goes all the way up to the spiritual world. Because Lord Krishna had given one parijat flower to Rukmini Devi, his primary wife, main wife. And Satyabhama got jealous. I wanted to. So he gave her the whole tree, but he got it from the heavenly planets. That's where the parijat flower is. It's not on planet Earth. And Indra got really angry. Here Lord Krishna was returning the earrings, and he said, you can't take my flower. And he fought. He's a mixed devotee. That's what a mixed devotee is. A pure devotee, they'll give anything to Krishna, even the dust of their feet. Like the gopis did when Krishna was pretending he had a stomachache. The gopis said, yeah, you can take. He was pretending to have a stomachache, not a real stomachache. He just wanted to test. So they went everywhere asking for the dust of their feet, and nobody said, oh, he's God. We won't give our dust of our feet. It's an offense. It's a sin. We'll go to hell. But the gopis, you can take it. We'll go to hell for Krishna, no problem. So that's the difference. And that's why Krishna is the property of the gopis. Who does Krishna belong to? He belongs to Radharani, he belongs to the gopis. Pure devotees. So, the unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendentally attached to one another. Here it says that very clearly. The unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendentally attached to one another. So Krishna belongs to the pure devotees belong to him. Sorry, I don't mean to put you to sleep. For the others, it must be a long morning. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is called Atmaram, self-satisfied. Self-satisfied as he is the master of all monists who seek to merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monists merge within the personal effulgence of the Lord, called the Brahma Jyoti, but the devotees enter into transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material. And here we will stop. So, sorry I don't have time for questions. So, thank you for attending. Hare Krishna. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagvatam Puran Ki Jai.